What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with a brand new top 10 for you all today, and today we are taking a look at the top 10 creatures you should be using to explore Fjordur. Now, a lot of formulation and planning went into this list. Let me know what you guys think of it down below, but one thing that won't be making an appearance today are zombies, and that's why today's video is sponsored by Age of Origins. Age of Origins is a zombie strategy tower defense mobile game in which you need to survive the zombie apocalypse by building massive destructive cannons, turrets, and lasers to stop the onslaught of powerful zombies. But that's not all. You can also recruit powerful commanders who are able to be converted from zombies to lead your troops against the zombie horde. You'll need them as there are tons of different zombies out there. Mutant zombies, gargantuan titan zombies, and death mother zombies. All of these are absolutely terrifying. Now, as your city grows, you can form alliances and treaties with other cities on the world map and engage in daily missions and raids to defeat the zombie hordes. But if that's not enough, there's also mini games which you can participate in, such as the tower defense and my favorite, the giant cannon defense, where waves of zombies try to get into your settlement. Now, I only managed to get 19,000, but I'm pretty sure you guys can do better than that. So download the game today to receive $60 worth of gifts and to conquer the zombie hordes. Now, coming in at number 10, we have the DEINONYCHUS. The DEINONYCHUS is found in the greenery area of Fjordur. Their nests are located sporadically throughout this area, and you'll be able to spot them from a distance. You can see there is a pack currently hunting a bunch of pteranodons. Their nests are dotted all throughout this landscape area here. Now, the reason they make such great exploring mounts is because Fjordur is a very vertical map. And the DEINONYCHUS have the ability to scale these walls, as well as that they don't take any fall damage due to their unique ability to do a semi-glide when falling from high areas. And their little wing feathered arms allow them to take no fall damage. As well as that, their attacks deal bleed damage, which is able to deal a lot of damage to large preys, including alphas, which you're going to need to be hunting a lot of because of the fact that they give you runestones. As well as that, if you have a pack of them, they will deal increased damage and you can easily take down the biggest of threats. They're very fast, they're very speedy. The only downside to them is that they don't have a lot of weight and they are a little bit squishy. But if you do have a pack of them, you can easily shred the largest of victims and deal a ton of bleed damage over time to whatever it is that you are fighting. And with the alpha's large health pool, the DEINONYCHUS bleed will shred through the alphas. Now, as well as that, obtaining one of their eggs is relatively easy. All you need is a literal wild dino to kite them away from the nest and you can grab them. They will aggro on you if they are close enough and you are in their proximity. So make sure that you have a few points leveled in movement speed, but obtaining their eggs and hatching them is very simple and easy. Now, coming in at number 9, we have the THYLACOLEO. Now, there's both the R variant and the normal variant located on Fjordur, and both of these are extremely strong. Essentially an upgraded version of the DEINONYCHUS. They do have a bleed attack as well, which does 5% of the victim's health over 5 seconds. So you can easily, once again, shred alphas, shred gigas even. You're more than capable of dealing with gigas with the THYLACOLEO. It will require a little bit of kiting, but they are easily capable of absolutely demolishing pretty much anything, even titanosaurs, because of that bleed effect that they're able to inflict. You level up their health a little bit and you'll easily be able to tank most of the damage dealt by large prey and easily out-damage them due to the bleed effect. Now, as well as that, they also have the ability to climb walls very similarly to the DEINONYCHUS. And once again, Fjordur is a very vertical map, so you will need something that is capable of scaling walls and mountains. And obviously, if you're sick of flyers, because we all know they'll be appearing on the list, and you want to deal some damage to deal with the alphas and all that sort of stuff, look no further than the THYLACOLEO. In terms of knocking them out and taming them, they're relatively simple. Chuck some billboards down, build a trap for them. You'll easily be able to knock them out, tame them with some mutton and a sanguine elixir, and you'll be good to go. The only thing to be wary of with the THYLACOLEOs is that they don't take reduced fall damage. So every time you do leap from a large area, you will need to jump off your THYLACOLEO to reduce the damage that it takes, as this will allow you to mitigate most of the damage you could take from fall damage. So I'd heavily recommend getting yourselves the THYLACOLEO, and they're just super badass to ride around on. Now, coming in at number 8, we have the BASILOSAURUS. Once again, the BASILOSAURUS is located throughout Fjordur in the ocean, and you'll generally find them near the surface as they don't really enjoy diving to the depths. These guys are probably going to be one of your best underwater mounts that you can use. Now, some of the other creatures located further down on this list can be used as aquatic creatures. However, having a dedicated aquatic creature such as the Basilosaurus for Fjordur is going to net you a lot of profit and a lot of good things. For example, here, Alpha Lead Cjthecheesedj dot the map of Fjordur quite a lot, and in my opinion, they are one of the best sources to harvest runestones from, as Alpha Leads spawn in numerous numbers and they have relatively low health. Your Basilosaurus is easily going to be able to deal with the lead Cjthecheesedj, and due to the fact that they generally swim in the shallows once again, your Basilosaurus is going to have no issues taking this thing down. Now, Basilosauruses have a ton of health, they have a ton of melee damage. The only thing that you need to watch out for is obviously their depth limit. They will start taking damage once they reach a certain depth. But you can see here from killing that Alpha Lead Cjthecheesedj, we got 15 rune stones. So in my opinion, the Alpha Lead Cjthecheesedj, one of the best ways to farm rune stones, and your Basilosaurus will easily deal with them with ease. Now, obviously you've got the Tusos as well, you've got plesiosaurs and stuff like that, but the Basilosauruses are also immune to the Electrophoruses and the Nidaria's stun attack, making them invaluable for deep sea diving and just generally avoiding the Nidarias. Once again though, the only thing you need to watch out for is that once you reach a certain depth limit, they will start taking small increments of damage, which is easily circumvented by feeding them raw meat. Nonetheless guys, let's move on to number 7. Now coming in at number 7, we have the Griffin. Everyone knows the Griffin, they've been around for a while. They are found in this section of Fjordur. There's a couple other areas, but this is the best spot to find them. And they are, you know, they're just one of those creatures that you need to tame up, obviously. They've got the glide ability. They are one of the fastest, if not the fastest flyer in the game due to that glide ability. They have the ability to do a dive claw attack, which does tons of damage to whatever it is that you're hitting it on. Obviously dependent on how much melee damage your Griffin has, but they're able to get away from literally anything. You can kill alphas with the Griffin, it just might take you a little bit longer. If you do pair that with your ability to do the dive claw attack though, you shouldn't really have any issues in killing the alphas. All you need to do is simply hover above them and you can swipe at them from the air, and they won't be able to reach you and deal damage to you. So, you know, you get the best of both worlds. As well as that, in terms of taming them, they're relatively easy. Simply set up an RG trap, cut your Griffin into said trap, and then just knock it out. And feed it mutton, and you're good to go. Very easy tames to get. They don't need saddles either, so you won't need to craft anything extra for them. And they're just kind of one of your, you know, your comfort creatures that you go to get around and explore things. So definitely worth taming up a Griffin on Fjordur. The fact that they spawn on Fjordur as well is just really cool as well. Nonetheless, the Griffins take the number 7 spot. Now coming in at number 6, we have the Wyverns. Now the Wyverns are absolute powerhouses. They fill a ton of niches and they're just super good at exploring, getting around, dealing damage, and just fighting anything and everything. Once again, any alphas you come across will be melted by the various Wyverns' breath. There are all 4 types of Wyverns on the Fjordur map: the Ice Wyverns, the Poison Wyverns, the Fire Wyverns, and the Lightning Wyverns. My go-to is the Lightning Wyvern purely because of that lightning breath. You are able to deal a ton of damage to whatever it is that you are fighting. Literally, alphas can get melted in a couple of seconds with your Lightning Wyvern's breath once it does have extra melee points into it. But you just absolutely wreck anything and everything that you come across. As well as that, they have the fastest base movement speed in the game for flyers. So in other terms, they are the fastest flyer at base movement speed. Only thing that makes them slower is obviously the fact that they don't have the ability to do a glide attack or glide in general. But nonetheless, you can see here, if you do struggle to hit whatever it is that you're trying to hit, all you need to do is fly up. You can use your breath attack from the air, you can attack from the sky, you can just absolutely demolish anything and everything in your path with Lightning Wyverns in specific. The other Wyverns do a great job of absolutely annihilating everything as well, don't get me wrong, but Lightning Wyverns are definitely where it's at. Now, in terms of gathering their eggs, it can be a little bit difficult, but due to the teleportation system and the Fjordhawks, it is a lot easier and more feasible in order to get the Wyvern eggs than it was before. Now, coming in at number 5, we have the Shadowmanes. Now, the Shadowmanes are incredible tames. They are also incredibly frustrating to get, which is why they're so much higher on the list. But these guys are awesome. They do a ton of damage. They also build up their attack meter, which allows them to do a mega attack which if you kill will refresh the attack and you can cast it again until you pretty much finish killing everything in the vicinity. They are great swimmers. They are great for just getting around. They are super fast. They have the ability to jump huge distances. Like, look at that. Absolutely amazing. They look awesome. They get a massive pack boost when they're in a pack and they're mate boosted, and you can just deal and attack anything and everything. As well as that, they have the ability to cloak themselves and go invisible, making you essentially invisible to any wild dinos in the area. As well as that, they're also very good swimmers, meaning that you can essentially take them to the bottom of the depths and not have to worry about them. They also don't require a saddle, once again having naturally inbuilt armor, which is awesome. The stats themselves as well are also super good, so you won't really need to worry about too much when you're on the Fjordur map. Pretty much being able to deal with alphas, rexes, probably not gigas. I wouldn't take a Shadowmane up against a giga due to the fact that it will kill you, most definitely. But you can definitely use Shadowmanes on the bosses even because of that fact that they have that natural inbuilt armor. They'll take a ton of reduced damage and still be able to dish out a ton of damage. You can see here, this level 151 deals 128 damage with its primary attack. Then when we can get the charge attack off, 642 damage. Now, this isn't even imprinted, this isn't even leveled. So you're definitely more than capable of taking this up against the bosses and using them to fight the bosses. As well as that, they have the ability to do a teleport attack as well, which you can stun and deal more damage to a ton of dinos in an area. But I'll definitely recommend taming up Shadowmanes because you can take them into the caves, you can take them pretty much anywhere with you. They don't suffer from being on the other realms like flyers do. They have the ability to get around super easily with their large jump areas. They're just awesome tames to get. So that's why the Shadowmane comes in at number 5. Reason it's a little bit higher is because of having to tame one up. It's not a fun experience. It's very rage-inducing. However, with the Sanguine Alexa, that does make things a little bit easier. Now, coming in at number 4, we have the Andrewsarchus. Now, in my opinion, the Andrewsarchus does deserve the highest spot in comparison to the Shadowmane, purely due to the fact of how much easier it is to tame the Andrewsarchus in regards to the Shadowmane. And the Andrewsarchus also fills a very similar niche role that the Shadowmane does. The only downside that the Andrewsarchus doesn't deal as much damage, and it also doesn't have the natural armor built in. But in terms of just pure exploration, the Andrewsarchus definitely takes the cake here. Able to go underwater, run underwater, and swim underwater at a very good pace. You can easily take this guy to explore the depths of Fjordur, and he will protect you, the rider, from oxygen consumption, from getting knocked off by Nidarias and Electrophoruses, Microraptors, anything like that. So if you take it into caves, if you're taking it out into the wild, Polovias even, Wyverns, you will be safe in the Andrewsarchus' saddle. As well as that, it also has the ability to shoot the turret on its back while also being able to attack, which just means you can deal even more damage with your Andrewsarchus against wild creatures. The Andrewsarchus for me definitely ticks all the boxes. Like, it's just such a good mount to getting around on. You just need to tame one of these up for, well, everything. Plus, look at how cute they are. Like, you can't tell me these guys aren't bloody adorable. So I'd definitely get yourselves an Andrewsarchus at the earliest convenience. These are one of those tames that you can get straight off the bat. Like, you don't need to waste time going ahead and trying to knock these out. Harvest up some honey in the area, and you can tame these guys up with ease. They also have a kickback attack, which you can use to stun and get away from tames and wild dinos. They have a C speed up button, which allows you to plow through any sort of terrain in your pathway. Once they get going as well, they're also able to do this. They have the ability to jump. They're just great for getting around the map. I'd heavily recommend them, and you can easily take them to the other realms as well and not have any issues getting around over there. And once again, they have the ability to just protect you from pretty much everything. So I definitely recommend getting yourselves an Andrewsarchus at the earliest convenience, but that is why that they are higher than the Shadowmane. So let's move on to the top 3. Now, coming in at number 3, we have the ROCKDRAKE. A great glider, a great mount for just exploring any map and getting around in general. These guys are awesome, and in terms of gathering their egg from Asgard, it is also relatively easy due to the fact that we now have Fjordhawks. The Andrewsarchus saddle does also protect you from the radiation, so you can quickly jump off your Andrewsarchus saddle, grab the egg, and get out of there with your Andrewsarchus. The Rockdrake is great. He's got the ability to glide, as you can see here. We can climb walls, we can dash to walls. He's got the sticky feet, which allows you to climb on any surface. He's just, you know, you can't go wrong with the Rockdrake for exploring anything. He's great for getting around. He does a relatively decent amount of damage to whatever it is that he's fighting. You can definitely use this guy to deal with alphas or anything of the sort. He has the ability to cloak himself as well, so you can remain invisible to whatever it is that you want to remain invisible to. You don't need to do this during the night. You can do it during the day whenever you want. And it also has the ability to sense Reapers, which isn't as effective, obviously, on the Fjordur map. But if you do have custom Eye and you have Reapers spawning in, then it's a great way to find them. The Rockdrake, just absolutely phenomenal tame for getting around. The gliding ability makes him faster than flyers. He has access to a tech saddle as well. I don't think you can learn the engram for the tech saddle on Fjordur. However, if you come from another map, you can use it and obviously equip it to your Rockdrake. So, definitely recommend the Rockdrake coming in at number 3. Let's move on to the top 2. Now, coming in at number 2, we have the MAEWING. The MAEWING is just one of those tames that you need to tame it up whenever it's on a map. These guys are absolutely phenomenal. They are very similar to the Rockdrake, except they're able to glide a lot easier, a lot faster, and a lot better in my opinion. As well as that, they also have the ability to glide over terrain and water. Now, when they glide over terrain, they have the ability to pretty much plow through anything in their path and knock it aside. Very similarly to the Andrewsarchus. These guys are great. They also have access to a belly flop attack, which does deal damage as well. So you can definitely use these guys to deal some decent damage. Now, their saddle also acts as a baby carrier, allowing you to carry babies with you wherever you want to on the map. And they also act as a portable feeding trough for said babies. Now, another really good reason about the MAEWING and the Rockdrake, both reasons why they are higher than the flyers, is A, because they're faster, B, you can also use them in the other realms. They aren't limited to flying because they are technically gliders, so you are able to get around with them on the realms very quickly because they have the ability to glide. As well as that, the MAEWING is a much better swimmer than the Rockdrake, and you can easily deep dive with the MAEWING to the bottom of the ocean depths with the MAEWING and still be able to fight underwater as well. As well as that, you can also jump out of the water, go back into your gliding, and just continue getting around at super quick speeds. So the MAEWING, it's also super easy to tame up. Like, it's got a maximum of about 1,000 torpor. You chuck some billboards down, trank it, feed it whatever the heck you have on you, you'll be cheering. The MAEWING is just, it's a phenomenal tame, and you just can't go wrong with getting a MAEWING regardless. As well as that, you can take it into caves and obviously just glide over everything in the caves, because the MAEWING has the capacity to do that. And if you do get stuck, it does have its belly slam attack, which you can use to do an area of effect around you. And if you're struggling for fall distance and you want to fall a little bit slower, you can activate its parachute effect as well. This guy just ticks all the boxes. He's great. So definitely get your hands on a MAEWING, but nonetheless, let's move on to the number 1 spot. Now, coming in at the number 1 spot, you probably all saw it coming, we have the Desmodus Draculae. This guy, in my opinion, is the best creature for exploring the map of Fjordur, due to the fact that it has the ability to fly in cave systems in the different realms if you don't have cave flyers enabled. This guy is phenomenal for those reasons. Now, obviously, if you can fly in caves, that's massive. Obviously, for your own sort of private hosted servers, you can enable this effect so other flyers are able to fly in caves. But on like official servers and stuff like that, and servers that don't have the cave flyers enabled, the Desmodus is able to fly in all of the caves, which makes exploring, getting artifacts, dealing with dinos, dealing with enemies, super easy and super effective. As you can see here, we are currently in one of the best loot caves on Fjordur, and we're able to fly through the entire thing, easily enabling ourselves to farm a ton of supply drops if we so choose to. As well as that, any sort of enemies down below, we can simply fly over them. If we do want to deal with any of the wild dinos down below, we can also just simply attack them from the air and not worry about getting hit in the process. You can see here, we're easily able to attack from the sky and not have to deal with any of the associated damage that comes along with it. Now, obviously, you might occasionally take a hit every now and again if you mess up or don't hit or put the right amount of distance between you and the dino, but nonetheless, these guys are just absolutely great. They also get a ton of healing and blood packs from whatever it is that they're fighting. you just can't go wrong with the Desmodus for exploring. In terms of taming these guys, in my opinion, I think they are relatively easy. The hardest part about taming these guys is obviously getting the blood packs. However, once you get the amount of blood packs, go tame up whichever one you want, regardless of level. Taming effectiveness is entirely up to you. I personally think it's a pain in the ass to raise, so I don't really bother too much. But in terms of taming them, they're great. You know, you can't go wrong with the Desmoduses. Now, like I mentioned, he does have the ability to fly in the different realms, which once again makes him just invaluable, because the only other things that really allow you to get around this quickly are the gliders, and getting wyvern eggs in the lightning wyvern trench is made a lot easier with a Desmodus, because once again, you have the ability to fly on official and servers that don't have cave flyers enabled, and then you have the ability to also turn invisible at nighttime, making you unseeable by enemy dinos. All you need to do is hold down your secondary attack and you'll be invisible. Wild dinos will not aggro on you. Of course, unless if you're doing the lightning wyvern trenches and you steal an egg and then jump back on, they are going to aggro on you, so do be careful of that. Trust me, I've suffered plenty from it. Desmoduses, though, they tick all the boxes, like I said. You can latch onto walls, you can fire weaponry off the back of them. They just do everything that you would need in a great tame for getting around. Once again, flying in caves itself is just super useful, due to the fact that you can fly over literally everything and just grab the artifact, get out of there, grab all the loot, get out of there, not have to worry about any of the wild dinos in the process. Now, the Desmodus also has a screech attack. It also has the ability to pick up creatures and also life steal and have night vision. So if you want to tame that can do it all, the Desmodus is it. Once again, you can attack from the air, not have to worry about taking any damage from alphas, so you are capable of killing alphas very easily with the Desmodus as well. So Desmodus definitely takes the #1 spot. So guys, that is going to complete this video. Some honorable mentions though that I want to say. The Fjordhawk was definitely considered for this list. However, due to the fact that I figured the Fjordhawk, it only provides you with the ability to get your stuff back. If you are riding around on one of these tames and stuff like that, generally you will be able to get away from whatever it is that you're fighting if you don't want to fight it, or you will be able to deal with the issues, purely based on the dinos on this list. So I didn't think putting the Fjordhawk was really necessary. Another creature that I would like to add is the Sarco. The Sarcos are freaking amazing. They're great for getting around on land, rivers, water, anything. They deal a ton of damage. They act as a boat when you stand in the water. So I'd heavily recommend taming Sarcos as well. But nonetheless, guys, let me know what you thought of this video down below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below for more. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.